Stay till the end of this story. Because the woman they buried twice stood up. Subscribe so you never miss a story like this. The ground was still fresh, ***, 3 days. It had only been 3 days since they lowered Kofi Mensah into the earth. 3 days since Adaeze watched the man she had built her life with disappear beneath red soil, beneath flowers, beneath the sound of women weeping and men speaking his name like a prayer. 3 days. And already, the vultures had come. Adaeze sat inside the main house, the house Kofi had built with his own hands on land his father had left him. 40 acres of fertile ground. Mango trees, cassava farms, a small fish pond that Kofi had been so proud of. This land was not just property. It was a promise. It was everything he had worked for. Everything he had left behind for her. She sat wrapped in her mourning cloth, her eyes dry now because she had run out of tears the night before. The compound was still full of people, relatives, neighbors, women from the church. The smell of food cooking. The low sound of prayers. It should have been a safe moment. It was not. She heard him before she saw him. The sound of a car, not one car, two, pulling into the compound with the kind of slow confidence that only comes from a man who has never once been told no. Then Chief Kwame walked in. Kofi's uncle. A large man with large eyes that always seemed to be calculating something. Behind him, 2 men in suits carried a folder. Adaeze felt the room shift before a single word was spoken. Chief Kwame looked around the compound, at the trees, the land, the buildings, the way a buyer looks at a property for sale. Then his eyes landed on her. *Adaeze. We need to speak. About the land. She stood. Every part of her felt heavy with grief, but something older and quieter rose inside her chest. A stillness. An instinct. He placed a document on the table. Stamped. Signed, or what appeared to be a signature. He claimed Kofi had promised the land back to the family before he died. Elder Asante was there, 30 years on the village council. Adaeze looked at him. He looked at the floor. That look told her everything. She studied the signature. She knew Kofi's handwriting better than her own. The way he pressed the pen. The way he looped the K in his name. This was not his signature. I have never seen this document, she said. My husband never mentioned this agreement. Not once. Chief Kwame let a long pause breathe. Then quietly, so quietly only she could hear, he said, a widow has no claim here, Adaeze. You know our customs. The words did not land like a shout. They landed like a door being closed. Locked. From the outside. Adaeze did not fall. She did not beg. She stood, in her mourning cloth, on her husband's land, and she let those words settle into her bones. Because some wounds do not make you fall. Some wounds make you remember exactly who you are. She buried her husband 3 days ago, now she was being buried too. The only question was, would she stay down? There are moments in life when you realize the world is not what you thought it was, ***, not a sudden explosion. Not a loud crash. Just a quiet document placed on a table. And the silence of men who already know what it says. The village council met that same evening. 12 men seated inside the community hall, elders, land custodians, men who had known Kofi Mensah his whole life. And Chief Kwame sat at the head of the table like he had always belonged there. Adaeze sat across from him. Still in her mourning cloth. Hands folded. Still. The document was passed around. Each man held it, nodded slowly, the way men nod when they have already decided before they touch the page. When it reached Adaeze, she took it carefully. She read every line. And then she reached the signature. She stopped. She knew Kofi's handwriting. The slight lean of the letters. The way the K opened wide, like arms stretched out. This signature was too neat. Too careful. Like someone had practiced it. "This is not my husband's signature," she said. She turned to Elder Asante, the oldest man there, whose one word could end this meeting. Elder. "You knew Kofi since he was young. Look at this signature and tell this council what you see." Elder Asante looked at the paper. Then at Chief Kwame. Then, slowly, shamefully, at the floor. He said nothing. Before Adaeze could speak, Nana Kwame stood up. Chief's wife. Sharp tongue. Sharp eyes. This woman came from the city. She married what Kofi already built. And now she wants to challenge the family? A few men shifted. Some looked at Adaeze. Some looked away. Adaeze did not stand. Did not raise her voice. She looked at Nana Kwame the way you look at a fire, carefully, without touching it. Then, quietly, so quietly no one noticed, she slipped her phone beneath her mourning cloth. One tap. One photograph. Then another. The full document. Both pages. Time-stamped. Done. The council voted. 9-3. The document was upheld. Land transferred to the Kwame family. Effective immediately. Adaeze walked out alone into the orange evening sky. She stopped. Pulled out her phone. Looked at both photographs, clear, sharp, every fraudulent word visible. She did not smile. But something moved behind her eyes. Something small and certain and dangerous. They had voted. They had won. They had taken the land with a lie and 12 nodding heads. But they had done it in front of her phone. Chief Kwame thought he had ended something that evening. He had not ended anything. He had only just given Adaeze Mensah a reason. She did not hear them coming, but she heard the hammers. Past midnight, metal striking wood, boots on her ground, men working in the dark like thieves who had been given permission. She watched them drive fence posts into her compound from the window. She did not scream. She simply began to pack. By sunrise, her belongings were outside the gate. One suitcase. A wrapper. Kofi's old business journal grabbed from the shelf without thinking. And her phone, still holding 2 photographs of a forged signature. A crowd gathered. Neighbors. Churchwomen. Men with arms folded and mouths closed. No one spoke. On the veranda, Nana Kwame stood watching. Satisfied. Like a woman collecting something she always believed was hers. Adaeze picked up her suitcase and walked toward the road. Then a hand touched her arm. An older woman, a market woman with worn hands and tired eyes, pressed folded notes into her palm. Not much. But given with everything. She leaned close and whispered, "Don't let them bury you too." Adaeze walked. No tears. No looking back. Down that red dust road with one suitcase, a dead man's journal, and a secret on her phone. The city did not welcome her, it never welcomes anyone. Adaeze arrived with $40, a worn suitcase, and a dead man's journal. She found a small room that smelled of old wood and other people's problems. She sat on the edge of the bed and opened the journal. She read until 3 a.m. Kofi had documented everything. Land valuations. Business contacts. And near the back, a record of a private loan. A large sum. Given to a city financier named Dr. Adaeze. Signed. Witnessed. Never repaid. She read that page 3 times. Then she closed the journal and slept. Dr. Adaeze's office was on the 14th floor of a glass building downtown. His assistant made Adaeze wait 40 minutes. He was polished, expensive suit, careful smile. He looked at her morning cloth and worn shoes. He had already decided she was not worth his afternoon. I'm sorry for your loss. But I'm not sure how I can help you. Adaeze said nothing. She placed the journal on his desk. Opened it to the loan page. Looked at him. My husband trusted you with a large sum. I am not here to forgive that debt. I am here to collect it as equity in whatever you are building. Silence. Dr. Obina looked at the journal. Then at her. Then back at the journal. Something shifted in his face. Something she had not expected. 3 years passed, not quietly. Not easily. But they passed. Dr. Obina gave her a desk on the second floor. A consultant role, land valuations. What Kofi had taught her without either of them realizing it. She was good at it from day one. But she did not stop at good. She arrived before everyone else. Stayed after everyone left. Read documents not required of her. Asked questions that made senior partners pause. Within 6 months she understood the firm better than people who had worked there for years. Dr. Obina watched all of it. He simply kept opening more doors. By year 2 she was a partner. By year 3, her own portfolio. Land acquisitions across 3 regions. Every title clean. Every signature real. The firm noticed. The industry noticed. Adaeze did not slow down to enjoy it. One evening Dr. Obina found her at her desk long after the building had emptied. Papers spread wide. Numbers across 2 screens. He set a cup of tea beside her and sat quietly. You could be wealthy now and still, he said. You have already won something. Adaeze did not look up from the page. I am not done. He nodded. He did not push. He understood. What he did not know, what no one knew yet, was exactly what she was building toward. She was not learning business, she was learning how to return. It began as an ordinary Tuesday, quarterly portfolio review. Numbers on a screen. Coffee going cold on the desk. Adaeze was moving through regional land reports when one name stopped her finger on the trackpad. Baobab Community Bank, she knew that name. That bank held mortgages on nearly every piece of land in her home village. It had processed the paperwork when Chief Kwame registered the stolen land in his name. Stamped every document without question. She leaned forward. The report showed Baobab was struggling. Bad loans. Poor management. Bleeding quietly for 2 years. And now, its majority shareholder was selling. Quietly. Quickly. She requested the shareholder registry. When it arrived, Adaeze went very still. Not the stillness of shock. The stillness of someone watching a door swing open that was never supposed to open. She pulled out her laptop. Calculated acquisition cost, stake percentages, market valuation, her available capital. Dr. Obina walked in and stopped when he saw her face. He sat down and waited. She calculated for 11 minutes. Then closed the laptop. I can buy it, she said. The bank? The bank. The institution that had processed her humiliation, the building that had made Chief Kwame's theft official, it was now on the market, and Adaeze Mensah already had the money. She made no noise, no announcement. No press release. No celebration dinner. Just transactions. Clean. Precise. Legal. Over 6 quiet weeks, Adaeze acquired 54% of Baobab Community Bank. Share by share. Seller by seller. No single move large enough to trigger attention. By the time the last stake transferred, it was done. She owned the bank. And no one inside yet knew her name. Before revealing herself, she made one request through her legal team, a full audit of every land mortgage document filed in her home village over the last 5 years. The board agreed without hesitation. Routine. Nothing alarming. They did not know what she was looking for. She did. The audit arrived on a Thursday morning. She read every page alone. It confirmed everything. Chief Kwame had used Baobab to legitimize the fraudulent transfer. He had borrowed real money against stolen land. The bank had processed it all without question. Every transaction. Documented. Dated. Signed. That afternoon she walked into the boardroom. The directors stood when she entered. They did not yet understand why. She sat at the head of the table. Audit report in front of her. Legal documents beside it. She picked up the pen. Signed her name as majority owner and new chairwoman of Baobab Community Bank. Slowly. Steadily. Without hurry. The same way Kofi had always signed his name. She came back on a Wednesday, not in a borrowed car. Not in a taxi. A convoy. 3 vehicles. Quiet and unhurried down the same red dust road she had walked away from with 1 suitcase and $40. The village noticed. Chief Kwame arrived confident. Elder Asante arrived nervous, he couldn't explain why. When Adaeze walked in, Nana Kwame looked at her expensive dress and calm face, and smirked. The quiet smirk of a woman who still believed she had already won. Adaeze sat down without greeting anyone. She placed a single folder on the table. Slid it to Chief Kwame. Inside was everything. The full audit. The fraudulent document analysis. And a formal bank notice. The mortgage Chief Kwame had taken against stolen land was now in default. Foreclosure initiated. By the bank. Which she owned. Chief Kwame read slowly. The color left his face 1 line at a time. The land would not return to Adaeze personally, it would transfer to a public agricultural trust, registered in Kofi Mensah's name. For the village. Forever. Nana Kwame's smirk disappeared. Elder Asante stared at the table. The room went completely silent. Adaeze stood. Picked up her folder. She did not smile. She did not speak. She had already said everything. Justice is not loud. It does not arrive with drums. It arrives in paperwork filed, rulings signed, land returned to hands that were always meant to hold it. The legal process concluded 3 months later. The land transferred to the Kofi Mensah Agricultural Trust. Village farmers returned to fields they had watched go idle. Quietly. Rightfully. Finally. One morning Elder Asante came to Adaeze alone. No entourage. Just an old man at her door with shame in his eyes and nothing in his hands. He apologized for his silence. I know you were afraid, she said. I forgive you. She did not invite him in. But she meant every word. That evening Dr. Obina sat beside her on the veranda. The sky turned orange and purple, the way it does when a day ends with dignity. He said nothing for a long time. Then, are you finally at peace? She thought about it honestly. I don't need peace from them anymore. I made my own. He reached for her hand. She did not pull away. She looked at the horizon. Not back. Not forward with urgency. Just present. Rooted. Whole. The widow they buried twice. Stood, they can remove you from the land, but they cannot remove the land from you. Silence is not weakness. Sometimes it is the most patient form of war.